Hey everyone, I hope y'all are having a good evening and had a good day today. I just wanted to make a quick video and check in with y'all. I was talking to, there's a meeting after work, with some suppliers, and something, that one of them mentioned, I don't know if this is public information, so I won't say any names, but a little bumpy, but basically they mentioned that during C-19, back in, they didn't give a day, like a year, but whenever the stuff was going on 5 or 6 years ago, their CEO was on the phone with DC, I'm not sure who, they didn't, but basically the government, not sure which agency or whatever, but anyways, and the government was, I'll just put it like this because maybe it might be a way to word it, we're taking ownership of their inventory of mask and sanitizer. So it was like, you didn't hear about that really. I mean, I didn't. But yeah, so their inventory was, I guess they got paid a little bit for it, but they were basically like saying, this is ours, and anyway, so it's, just that alone gives you something to think about, and I started thinking about, like ownership of property, because that was theirs, that's their stuff, and then for, and then, I'm not trying to get too political. I guess I'm just trying to ask the question of what's actually yours? If you work hard for it, what's actually, do you actually even own anything? One big thing that a lot of people, it's, call me crazy. A lot of people are like, oh, well, taxes go to the schools or roads or whatever it goes for. I don't have kids and I haven't looked into it, but I just know that if you have a home and you don't pay property taxes, guess who's going to come knocking at your door? Well, I didn't complete my thought, so here's the rest of it, is that if I don't have kids and the property taxes is to pay schools, I'm basically being forced, or my property will be taken away, to pay for something that I'm not even, or my kids that, in this situation I don't have, aren't even utilizing. So basically, I'm being told to pay for something or else my property is going to be taken from me. So do you even really own your home? And I know people are like, yeah, you don't, but it's like, but that's just something that's accepted. So you don't own your home, but how else do you got to say it? So, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from wanting to own a home or rental properties or whatever. I'm not trying to go down that rabbit hole, and believe it or not, I would like to have rental properties one day. Now, if that doesn't ever happen, I'm not going to beat myself up or anything like that. I'm not trying to really tie myself to that outcome, because at the end of the day, what are the rental properties for? They're for, like, passive income, or just to sustain a life. I don't want to get all philosophical or anything like that. But either way, it's like, why do you go to a job? You go to a job for money. So if you, some people like their job. Some people really love their job and they do it for free, and that's great. That's super awesome. That's wonderful. I really applaud people for that. and that they, and I'm not saying I don't like my job. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying the vast majority of people go to work because they have to pay bills. So it's really a means to an end. I'm sure if people got paychecks, they would probably rather, go do something they like doing. Maybe, whether it's like lounging around or going fishing for some people. I'm not a fisherman really, but you get the point that people rather do something else with their time. That's what, people are like, oh, it's Monday, and they got this like sour, attitude. It's like, it's like, yeah, dude, you come to work on Monday, and then they're always like, oh, Friday, it's Friday, or TGIF, it's like, so that, just that says it alone to me, kind of where we're at, but anyways, so yeah, it just got me thinking, what is really ours, and, it is, are we as free as what we were told? Is this, people are talking about capitalism, is it even really truly capitalism by definition? Like, is it a free market? And I would argue not, because that's government intervention right there. People are like, oh, this or that, regulations, and there's people that are like, government got to take care of us, because if not, whatever. To me, that's like saying, okay, people aren't smart enough, so we got to have other dumb people, to tell us what we can and can't do. You know what I mean? Like, they're people too, so like, and they also got there's motives. These people, you don't think that some of these people are really actually have integrity and are honest? But they're gonna tell me what I can and can't do. I mean, am I actually free? Is my hard work and the labor of my, the fruits of my labor, is that actually mine? Not trying to be a Debbie Downer. This is just something to think about, and maybe something to strive for better, or maybe to understand where we are at now and where we would like to go in the future. Maybe we can go there tomorrow. Maybe it's a perspective change. But anyways, I'm gonna get off of here. I was just trying to make a quick video. Again, it's just something to think about. Let's see where I need to go. So yeah, anyways, I hope y'all had a good day. Today's a new day. And anyways, yeah, so I hope y'all have a good night. Take care, and we'll see you later.